I was getting so angry being rejected my first year. I would punch holes in the wall. My frustration was I didn't know how to deal with rejection. I didn't know how to deal when somebody says I didn't fill this out. I didn't know how to deal with the emotional side of when you call a bunch of leads and nobody's picking up and you're trying to find who to blame, and then you're like, these leads are horrible. When the reality was I had to look myself in the mirror and to realize it was my fault. It wasn't the leads. The lead is just a piece of paper to talk to somebody. That's it. You guys know my motto, right? All leads suck. That's just how I feel. Yeah. Because nobody's sitting there waiting with the checkbook open, praying, I want Elvir to call me right now to buy. Like, nobody's doing that.
It's just an opportunity for a conversation.
Exactly. That's all it is.
I don't even know how to start this one. My mind is blown. Right now, we need some graphics from Adam. The mind is blown, everybody. I want to welcome back to the Life Insurance Academy podcast, the new 2025 Ultimate Telesales Showdown Champion, Elvir Bazdarevic from Modern Financial. Welcome back to the podcast, man.
Thank you,
What
Roger.
have you got back here, bro? What is this? What the heck is going on? What did you do?
Is the champion belt for the Ultimate Telesales event showdown that we had.
Have we got this? Have we got this in the shot?
There you go.
Check that, man. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. And what did it take? Let's get this up. Let's put it. We're going to drop it right up here.
Right there.
We need help, Adam. We need help. How do we get this position? Come on in here. I don't care if we're in the shot. This is great. Is this good? Yeah?
All right.
That's awesome, dude. Look at this thing. What the heck?
It's pretty sturdy, too. I was very surprised.
The bobbleheads had to disappear because we were launching this out here for this. How does that look, Adam? Does it look good? Dude, WWE style belt.
Yeah.
What the heck was this all about? And tell us about what you were doing.
So we had our final event at Telesales Boot Camp, and everybody came in. That's been on the leaderboard, and you guys say, all right, let's do this final event and see what everybody's made of. And I was nervous. I was very nervous because I didn't know if I had it, in me. But I had a lot of people looking up to me, and you did, and Tim, and a lot of people rooting, and I made sure I gave it everything I had.
So we host, for those of you that have been watching the Life Insurance Academy podcast, and if you're in our coaching program, you know that one of our key teaching and training events is the Telesales Boot Camps.
Yep.
These are 2.5-day events that we host around the country. We've done them.
They're so good, Roger.
Yeah, you like it?
They're so good.
Yeah, that's good. And you've been at how many now?
9.
9.
Yeah.
You've been at 9 of them. And not like you need to. You enjoy them because you're in community. You get in the room. You bring back other agents to attend.
Yes.
You had Thomas Gibson actually back in with you. And Thomas is scheduled to be on the podcast. I don't know if it's airing before or after this one with Posterity Financial. And he's a part of your organization. Yeah. Elvir is with Modern Financial out of Nashville, Tennessee. And Elvir and I have gotten to know each other now over the past year and a half or so. And just been a pleasure watching him grow, man. I didn't know there was such a quiet, like humble. This guy humble brags he is not a smack talker. He's not one of those over the top. He's not loud and boisterous on the phone. He's just smooth and consistent. And the thing that I've learned about you, Elvir, and watching you and coming to our boot camps is that people love to be around your energy because of how calm and how consistent you are. It's been absolutely fun to watch. So that's what this is about. And this is the belt that was given away for the Ultimate Telesales Champ. What did you have to do, bro, to win this? Tell us what it was like, because you were in the room with people who qualified in the top.
Yeah.
They had to have attended one over the past year, and then all the top performers. So if you attend one of our telesales boot camps, you can get invited. back to one of these, and we did a year-end event. You're in the room with some pretty heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Right? And what did you have to do to win?
Oh, gosh. It took a week prior to the event to prepare for this.
Yeah.
Like, I knew it was coming. And the goal was pretty much to leave it all on the table. Like, I'm going to give it all.
Yeah.
Put my head down. I told my team and my staff and everybody, I was like, do not call me the next couple of days.
Unless you're sending me a lead.
Unless somebody's dying, do not call me, right? And they respected that. And I told my team as well, I won't be on these calls. And probably about a week prior, the activity level was so high. And my goal was to just come in with so much momentum that was key. I just needed massive amount of momentum, right? And then wherever the chips fall at that point.
So we did an event over at the main event. It's a big entertainment facility, entertainment place, a venue here in Louisville. Bowling, foosball, laser tag, big bar area, restaurant, video games. It's just a fun place to hang out. And Adam was got you and cornered you and said, "Hey," and you said, "Hey, I know Roger wants me to talk some smack, but he's genuinely not
so
a smack.
Bad.
He's not a smack talker, right? There was some good smack talk going on in the channel that we had created for all the attendees and participants, and we had people fly in from Louisiana. People came in from Michigan. I mean, we had people coming in from all over, from Arizona, right? You came up from Nashville, Tennessee, and descended on Louisville for 3.5 days, essentially. And you're like, I think it's going to take 33,000 to be in the top 3. And I think that was eye-opening for some other people. Because I asked some other people, and they thought it was going to take at least 15 to have a shot. And I said, 15 a day? And they were like, a day? And I said, well, Elvir said it's going to take 33. And I kind of like eyes open. So you knew you were up against some sturdy competition. And we're dialing brand new leads. None of this was preset. So no sandbagging or anything like that.
I imagine some did. I have no idea.
I don't know. But I watched your process, and I was listening to enough of your calls. I felt like you were dialing new leads or taking inbound leads through one of the platforms that you're using. And I watched you just methodically go after it.
Oh, gosh. There was a one
so
point.
Much so, dude, you were trying to eat a sandwich one day, and you were trying to eat so fast, and the sandwich was wrapped in, this was a wrap. It was in paper, and dude, he's eating the paper. Like, he couldn't get the paper peeled off fast enough. He goes, I got to get back to work. Because there was one dude in there that was pushing you,
Brian.
And it was Brian Jackson.
Gosh, he's such a good guy.
Tell us what it was like being in the event and what you ultimately, we're going to reveal the number here in just a second.
I was up against Clark. As you guys know, Clark is a beast. And
Clark Stanley. Anchor Point Group out of Cincinnati.
Right? Yep. And then Brian as well, and he's at Missouri.
He's in Missouri,
And I've been watching these guys going at it at some other boot camps, and I'm like, man, these guys really have something special. And where they are right now in their first year, I was nowhere where they are. Like, my first year was, I was barely trying to make it, and then seeing them in their first year, it just gives me so much hope. And I see Brian and Clark going on the board. You know, they're going at it. They're posting stuff, and I'm over here. Okay, slowly got one sale, but it's
15 agents total.
Yeah, 15 agents.
Yep.
And so I'm just watching people get on board, ringing the bell, getting on the board, and I'm on the call here, and I think it was the first couple of calls, some lady was like, I don't want life insurance. And then you got Brian, and some lady's telling me I don't want life insurance, and Brian is clicking the bell. And I'm like, oh, am I really going to do this? Is this going to happen?
Yeah.
But yeah, throughout the process, Roger, it was a lot of ups and downs, right? Looking back, it's like, man, am I really going to do this? Am I really going to win? A lot of people watching me. I really want to make this happen. And I just put my head down, and I was just grinding and calling and calling. And at one point, I was like, I don't think I'm going to win. But I kept calling. I just kept going, you know.
In the middle of your doubt, you just kept working.
I'm like talking to myself and like trying to convince myself, like, you can do it, Elvir. And then my other side, no, you can't. But throughout that entire time, the system is calling, right? And somebody picks up, and then I forget I talk to myself. I'm weird, but it's a system that I built internally to keep my head right. And so it was probably my best 2.5 days that I've ever done in my life. So,
and your total was the total number of families applications that you wrote?
Total was 19 applications, 19 families, and 39,846 was the final.
$39,846 in annualized premium.
Yeah.
Bro, that blows my mind, dude.
Yeah.
When I got in the business, you guys heard me say this before. My goal was to write $6,000 a week so I could keep and have issue paid $4,000 to $5,000 a week in issue paid. That was my goal.
You know what's crazy? My first year I did 87,000
for the first full year.
For the first full year.
Well, Jalen Talley with True Wealth Financial out of Columbus, Ohio was there. And he said one person got up and they were like, I'm kind of disappointed with my efforts this week. And he said, I want to remind you. And he was talking to Jacob.
Yeah.
Jacob sells insurance on Instagram. You can follow him. 20 years old. And a guy put up almost 11,000. And he looks at Jacob and he says, Jacob, you sold more in 2.5 days than I did in my first full year. Right? So everybody starts out different. Did you believe that $39,846 was going to be even remotely possible?
No.
You told Adam you thought 33 was going to be in the top.
I prepared, I with reverse engineering, how my mind works, I was like, I can probably squeeze 30 with the activity.
You're thinking 10K a day, I can do 10K a day.
I've done 10K a day, right? But doing it consistently on a basis like that, it's very hard. But what kept me pushing was Brian. I was like, oh man, here he goes again. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm clear. I can kind of slow down a little bit. And I see Brian up there stepping it up. I'm like, all right, Elvir, you gotta keep moving. And he just kept coming. It was like literally for like an hour. For a couple of hours, I was like, it was me, then Brian. It was me and then Brian. Me and Brian. We were just on the board putting down. And at one point, I was just so busy. I was like, Tim, can you put my number up? I don't have time. I got to call the next person.
And they were keeping pretty good audits. You had to submit everything. Yes. It had to be legit. No declines. No controlled business. No Correct. Family. No, you can't be in your house. Yeah. Your address. Like lots of because we had to set the rules, right? Because there's people coming from all over the industry, all over the country. We're giving away cash and prizes. We're giving away the annual belt, right? We can't have this big crescendo and then we find out somebody wrote 5 policies on their uncle who lives in their house. Yeah. Right. So that wasn't happening. And it was so funny when one would ring the bell, everyone's looking up to see who it is. And it got to a point where the leaders started separating themselves, and then the leaders would look at each other as they're walking to the bell to say, I'm going up. And the bell would be ringing again, that was fun to watch, man. Yeah. That was fun. Are you ready to launch your insurance career? Excel Solutions is your go-to leader in life, accident, and health insurance pre-license training. Their cutting-edge e-learning platform is packed with rich content. Think interactive assessments, engaging videos, and customized learning paths, all tailored to your learning style. Being students ourselves, we've trusted Excel now for years to deliver top-notch training, offering high pass rates. Their streamlined prep review courses and the exam simulator are really your secret weapons to nailing the state exam the very first time. Now, you thought it couldn't get any better. Well, it just did. Life Insurance Academy listeners, you receive an epic 50% discount, reducing the regular course fee from $199 to only $99. So, all you have to do is use partner code LIA at liapodcast.org/Excel. Now, Excel spells XCEL. So don't think about it any longer. Dive headfirst into your insurance career with Excel Solutions' premier pre-license training with that exclusive 50% discount just for you. Get the code, get licensed, and excel in your insurance career. So tell me why, when you're in an environment with other people who are executing at a high level, it motivates you to execute at a high level. And how does that translate to agents that are watching about their own daily practice? Yeah, because this is why I love this boot camp. Like, I've been to other boot camps and other organizations, stuff like that, where, they might talk a little bit and then you kind of go off by yourself and you're nothing, you don't have that competition spirit. We're all in it to help each other, but yet we're competing against each other. It's a really unique environment. You don't find it anywhere else. And you're competing with other organizations from across the country and other producers from across the country.
Exactly. Yeah. But when you're in a room of like-minded people who want to win, and let's say you're having a bad moment, and somebody picks up the call, or you don't get a close, and you start doubting yourself. Something happens when you see another person make a sale. When you're going through that, it pushes you to get past that point, and brings belief back, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, this does work. It's not me. It's not, it was just a bad lead, or somebody was in a bad mood, right?
Yeah.
It gives you that spirit of, let's keep pushing.
Yeah.
We got this. And so being around like-minded people that are pushing you without really pushing you, they're not saying much to you, but you're seeing their actions. Okay, they're selling, so it works. Let's keep pushing. And then you sell, and you're like, okay, and then they see it. And there's something about pushing each other. But it's happening behind the scenes. You can't really put like a finger on it where it's actually there, but in spirit, we're just really pushing each other to a new level. And everybody in that room, I think everybody had a record 2 days ever.
Yeah.
Everybody outperformed what they thought they were going to do, even myself.
Yeah. I love the energy that happens, and I love what, you hear this, a rising tide raises all ships. And that's really what it's about when it comes to community. Now, I want to make a distinction here, because some people think, well, really, are they doing what's in the best interest of clients, right? So at the Life Insurance Academy, we teach a principled sales process.
Yes.
And the primary underlying premise behind all that is ethical selling is a willing and exchange value, willing and exchange of value that moves people to a better place. To a better place. So your clients, you're helping move your clients to a better place. What does that mean? It means you're helping put protection in place for their family, the people that they care about the most, to protect them when they need it the most. Either when you're hurt, injured, or God forbid you pass away tragically, or when we all check out, at some point in our future. But we're helping families do that. Yeah. But we're doing it in an ethical way. And I think sometimes when people see things like this, they think they're taking advantage of people. I remember when I showed Chris the business plan, and I invited him into the industry, and I could see hesitancy on his face. And he said, I don't know if I really want to take advantage of old people. And I think a lot of people have this idea that you're taking advantage of people when you're doing sales. And it is a misnomer. I think people I think there's bad salespeople out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we just watched a video beforehand, right? And you told me that's exactly how they used to do it in the car business.
Yeah.
And people are railing on you, talking down to you, saying you're not worth it. You need to quit, suck it up, get out and sell some expletives,
Yeah.
And that's different than what you experienced this past week, even though we were in a top producer event. Talk about the difference between those two environments, because I think some people watching think you have to be one of those people who don't care about people. You're just caring about closing deals versus what you saw and what we did this week.
Yeah. As you know, if you guys watched my first podcast here, I was in the car business, and we sold cars. And that's hard selling. Like you're trying to sell something that they want. And most people will buy what they want versus what they need.
Correct.
Okay. So to me, I feel like, yes, we are hard closing with cars, but that was a different kind of sale. And then, on Fridays, they would ridicule us. Like, you need to make closes. They would like come down on our throats.
The end of the month, it was lots of pressure.
Oh, yeah, it was. And that's kind of how the car business is. And if you're in the car business, you know it. I mean, I don't have to preach to the choir. But here, it wasn't like that. It was like, we're genuinely, at the end of the day, regardless if it's a contest or not, like we're genuinely putting people in a better position.
Yes.
Right? And as I shared my story, my mother-in-law had cancer. She passed away. We've seen what life insurance does. It gives people the ability to grieve without having to worry about bills.
Correct.
Where's this going to be paid? The last thing they want is the bill collectors calling while they're trying to figure out how to bury their loved ones.
While they're still grieving.
Yeah.
They're still experiencing emotional loss, and now you've got to deal with financial stress.
Exactly. And so we're not taking advantage of people. We're putting them in a better place. And Fred was sitting next to me, one of the other guys, and he's like, you literally ask people, how can I help you? How can I serve you? And that's exactly what we're doing. We're serving people. We're genuinely here. The way I like to talk to my clients is I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to help you find a solution to your problem.
That's it.
And so when I do that, it feels like I'm locking arms with them.
That's right.
And I'm stepping from in front of them to next to them.
That's right.
And then we're locking arms, and then we're marching towards how can I help you?
Does that sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? If you've been watching this, I mean, I'm getting goosebumps hearing Elvir say this, because that's exactly what our job is, to go beside them, figuratively, metaphorically, like get beside them. You're on the phone. You can't literally get beside them, but figuratively, you're getting beside them to help them solve the thing. You're beside them, helping them figure out the solution to their problem.
Yeah, and that's why I view it. It's almost like if you ever purchased a home and a real estate agent is not convincing you, they're actually helping you find the right house. You guys are working together, right? It'd be weird if you're having a conversation with your real estate agent. You're like, I don't know, I got to think about it. The real estate agent is like, I'm here to help you. I'm not trying to convince you. So, and that's kind of the same mindset. So when I do that,
can we get this deal closed today on this house? Well, let me think about it.
Let me think about it.
Yeah.
But when I do that, it's a totally different conversation. It doesn't feel like I'm selling. It genuinely feels like, okay, what are we trying to accomplish? And then if you guys utilize the life insurance sales process, which I genuinely love, and I'll talk about it in a second. If you're utilizing that, you are giving people words in what they're thinking already. And we're just helping them uncover that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to think about when they're dying. I had one lady that I closed yesterday, and she's like, I really don't want to talk about this, but I know I got to buy it. But she doesn't want to talk about it.
Correct.
But she knows how important it is for her son.
Yeah.
And one of the questions we always ask is, well, which is the takeaway, right? Yeah. What happens if you don't have anything in place? What does that look like for your family? The stakes. You raise the stakes. And so with the Life Insurance Academy, the podcast and the
coaching and training,
and the framework, it took me, Roger, about 4 years to understand and like in a hard way learn that framework that you guys have.
Yes.
So when we connected, I was like, this is exactly what I'm doing. And so Life Insurance Academy process gave me the ability to put words in what I'm doing. Like I felt it. Like when you're talking to people and you might be in that same situation where you know how to sell and you know when that sale happens, but you can't put words on it.
Yeah.
But with this process that you guys have, I'm finally able to put words on it, like raise the stakes.
That's right.
Creating empathy and authority and trust.
Yes.
And I was like, that's what I'm doing already. And now I have words to it, which is awesome. So I love that.
The principled sales process is what he's talking about here. And so I did feel alignment, when we met. And because if there's anybody that sells at a very high level in the industry that does so from an empathetic yet authoritative place, it's you, man.
Appreciate that.
It's you. You're like the most understated, quiet guy. You're like the most understated, quiet, lethal top producer that I know.
But that wasn't like that. For like my first year, I was sharing with the guys. I had to really learn to control my emotions. Like if my wife is watching this, she knows. I don't know if I want to share this, but I was getting so angry being rejected my first year. I would punch holes in the wall. And she's like, you better fix that. I'm like, fine, I will. But I had to learn. My biggest weakness in this process was learning to control my emotions.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my hardest
Did you feel like you were failing, or you were feeling frustrated because you didn't know how to win? Or where was the frustration coming from?
My frustration was I didn't know how to deal with rejection, right? I didn't know how to deal when somebody says I didn't fill this out. I didn't know how to deal with the emotional side of when you call a bunch of leads and nobody's picking up and you're trying to find who to blame. And then you're like, these leads are horrible. And I've been there. I was that agent starting off talking to the guy. I was like, these leads are not working. When the reality was I had to look myself in the mirror and to realize it was my fault. It wasn't the leads. The lead is just a piece of paper to talk to somebody. That's it.
Correct.
Right?
Not even a piece of paper anymore.
Yeah. And you guys know my motto, right? All leads suck. That's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Because nobody's sitting there waiting with the checkbook open, praying, I want Elvir to call me right now to buy. Nobody's doing that.
It's just an opportunity for a conversation.
Exactly. That's all it is. So.
And so you have your own organization, you're growing that team, and I've watched you take people who are struggling and trying to find their way And you have a way about you of like leaning in, getting them connected to your environment, getting them on the Zooms, the Zoom rooms, right? Your live dials, getting them connected to your ecosystem with Modern Financial and your organization, and methodically helping them learn how to communicate to people in a way that moves them from I have some level of interest to thank you for helping me today and thank you for protecting my family. And I've watched you take struggling agents from where they're floundering, you know, to try to sell 10 to 15,000 in a month and only have an 8 or 10,000 stick. And then they're spending 4 or 5,000 on leads. And they're like, is this, I see all these numbers and I feel like I'm doing, like if on paper, it looks like I'm doing great. It looks like I'm going to be at 150,000. Like but once I take out the guaranteed issue stuff, once I take out the policies that are dropping off for chargebacks or the ones that never go through because they don't want to say no to me, but they cancel it and they never let their first payment process, and I'm pushing people over the line or I'm dragging them over the line, you know, as Clark says, you know, Clark Stanley says, when I first got in, I would drag anybody over the line because I was just trying to learn how to sell. And he said, I realized that was not the right way to do it because you had to come into alignment with the client and actually work with them to help them solve their problem. I've seen you take agents that are in that position where it might look like they're winning, but they feel like they're failing. And they know they're failing because their bank account doesn't represent it properly. And they get to a place where they're selling $40,000 and $50,000 a month in issue paid production. I mean, that is a significant win. How does that make you feel?
It's
as a
not
leader.
Just me. Like
I understand.
It took a while for all. Like there's so many people that are pouring into you throughout the journey that I've been here. Yourself and other people, and there's other people that are pouring into me things that I'm like, okay, I'm not going to pour this into other people. So you see the good and the bad. But I think mainly it's just understanding. It's kind of like the sales process. And it's understanding what they're trying to accomplish, where they're trying to go, understanding their process and just pouring into them and just seeing how we can tweak it. I mean, the reality is most agents who have a system in place, they probably just need a small tweak to change it. And it could be something you're saying on the call. Just a small tweak could change a lot of different things. And something I've learned is you don't want to change a lot of stuff because you don't know what's going to work. You just want it to change methodically, small at a time, small changes to a bigger outcome. And I can't take all the credit. I mean, I have a lot of people around me that are helping, and but I think it's also the belief of seeing me do it. Like I'm a big proponent of leading by example. And I want to do it as long as I can because it creates trust. Even when somebody's struggling, seeing that, okay, it's actually working. Other people are selling, even though I'm having a hard time. The belief is still there in the process, in the system. So how's that make me feel? It makes me feel good. It makes me feel proud of them, that they're listening and they're working and they're changing their family. And that we're working together and that they're actually trusting in the process because this business can change your life. And change your future, your kids, your grandkids, legacy-wise. It can change it.
100%. And if you haven't watched his first episode, please go back and watch that one. We're going to link it right here so that when we're done this one, even though it might push you to another video, you know the YouTube thing, how it pushes you to the next video, the link's right here to go to his next one, okay? Because he tells his story there about, you know, living in former Yugoslavia and escaping there from what was going on there, the war that was going on and family escaping and losing touch with your grandmother for a year and craziest story ever. And to see what you've done now, you and Lauren and the family you're building and the future you're building and the relationships now that you have outside the business, man, it just does my heart so good. I want to talk about one other thing and then we'll kind of wrap it. People always want to know, what kind of leads are you working, man? Like, what's the script? What's the leads? I just want to dial in on just the leads for a minute. You work a variety of leads. You're not really a one like vendor proponent. I know that you work final expense leads from multiple vendors that you've tapped into. Just a regular, you know, verified final expense lead. You also work a veterans lead, which is final expense, but not final expense.
Yeah.
They're for seniors, veterans who are seniors.
Yeah.
It's a different market, so it's a different market niche. Those people tend to have more financial wherewithal than the regular final expense client. And then you're also working some inbound calls with Lasting Mark on their inbound live inbound call system. Talk about those and how they came into play this week at the showdown, and what agents can expect if they're working with you. What type of lead opportunities are there for them to plug into that?
Yeah. So my philosophy with leads is something works a little, right? In other words, you not just one lead source. If you think like, I found a lead source, this is the holy grail, I'm just going to go for this. Eventually that one is kind of, because each lead has its timing of when it's going to work.
Yeah, so things change with the way marketing's done.
Exactly. Yeah. And so my portfolio and leads is everything. Like IUL leads, final expense leads, mortgage protection leads, call-in leads, vet leads. Like I have them all. I have a massive database of all the leads. And so something works a little, right? And so for me, because you don't know what's going to hit, who is going to be ready at that time. I mean, I've had leads that I was calling 4 years and they were ready at that time, right? 4 years later. So you don't know when that lead is ready. And for me, I just like, gosh, if you watch my other podcast, I'm a lead junkie. I mean, I wish you can hook me up to an IV with leads, right? But it helps talk to more people. At the end of the day, what we're looking for as high producers, we're just looking to talk to people, just to have a conversation. And then let's see what happens from there. And when you're talking to people, having conversations, you can have a ratio of, I don't know what your close ratio is, but you'll have a ratio. And then you realize you close 3 out of 10 people you talk to. Now that takes the emotion out of it. Yeah. And now just the process. Yep. And when you do that, you can do that in a longevity way, because if you utilize your emotions, you're just going to go like this. You're going to be high one day, you're going to be low, and that's very taxing emotionally. Yeah. So you have to know how to stay level. So
you invest in leads that are filled out on forms digitally for the most part now, whether they're vet leads or FE leads. Yeah. And then you also take the inbound calls, and those are the fillers in between when you're not having, so you can actually see if a call becomes available, you can just grab that inbound call.
Yeah, and that's strictly to us that we built together through Lasting Mark, and that gives me it's not like a transfer lead. It's actually like they see an ad and they're calling, and it transfers to you. There's nobody like filtering them out, and so that is something.
They're not outbound calls that are transferred. They're actually clients responding to an ad, dialing in, and they're directly transferred to you.
Kind of like you see they have a commercial, and then you call this number
on TV, 1-800, or online, they see an ad,
And so they call in and they just want to talk about it.
What was that like for you this week? Did that help?
It did. Yeah, it helped.
I think you had a big one, right?
At one point, I was like, hey, can we crank it up a little bit?
On the inbound?
I was like, I don't have enough coming in.
I'm dialing over here. No one's picking up. I could use some more of those.
There was a moment where I was dialing for like 45 minutes and nobody was picking up. And I called my wife. I was like, hey, is my phone work?
And you had a couple memorable clients that you helped this week, and you said one of them helped push me over the top.
Yes.
Why don't you just share that story, and then we'll kind of wrap.
The guy was spending $1,200 on a term policy, and so we found the stakes, and even so, most agents.
What type of lead was this, by the way? Do you remember?
This was
Is that an inbound?
No, it was a vet lead. It was a vet lead. Yeah. And you still, even though somebody's paying insurance and they're buying it, that doesn't mean it's a slam dunk. You still have to raise the stakes. You still have to create empathy and authority. You still have to figure out who they want to take care of. Yeah. And then what happens if they don't have it, right? Yeah. And how would that make them feel? You still have to go through that. You still have to go through that process. You owe the client that, right? And so we got, he wanted to lower it because he was about to retire. He's paying $1,200. He's like, I'm going in retirement and I can't pay for this, and I don't want to leave my wife with nothing. Yeah. Right. And we started talking. We started figuring out, hey, well, what is she going to have to do if you don't have it? And so there's a lot of, she might go homeless because she doesn't have an income. She was a stay-at-home mom and all that stuff. And we were able to find him a $500,000 policy, and it was like almost $700, $742 a month.
And it saved him how much?
Over $300, $400 a month.
Yeah, so you're a hero.
Yeah. And I love doing those, like uncovering, fact finding with clients. The other day I covered one guy. He was paying $960 a month with amongst 4 different policies.
Wow.
Right?
That's a lot, man.
Yeah. And the first thing that came to my mind, I was like, I'm sorry, if you're my own dad, this is crazy. Like, can you afford this? I mean, luckily he had the income. But I'm like, do you want to pay this forever? And he's like, no, I wish I can find something cheaper. But his hung up was he was afraid of getting declined again. Right? That was his biggest holdup.
Okay.
He knew the ability to help people. He wanted to leave some behind. And I said, Fred, if we can find something to consolidate, would that be a good option for you? He's like, please.
Yeah.
So we were able to find a carrier that we have, consolidate, give him $10,000 more, and save him $250 a month.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Right?
That's awesome. That's helping people.
You think that's going to stick on the books?
That's moving people to a better place.
Yeah.
Right? That's moving people to a better place. Well, brother, man, it was so cool to watch you hoist the belt last night. I know. Like even when you put it on, it's like the humility is there. It's like, this doesn't mean as much to me. And I'm like, Elvir, you can't treat it that way. This is something that everybody was running for. And this is something that you need to be proud of. But I know in your heart, you were actually doing it to let other people know it's possible for them. And because I've never seen anybody more confident in their ability to go make $500,000 a year just on their own pen as you. And you've been doing it. I mean, this year you're going to, what will you issue pay this year?
Lower 500.
A little over 500. Well, you got to add, it was funny because Jason Gilbert says, I didn't know Elvir was going to come in here in 2.5 days, put a down payment on a house. That's how he termed it. I mean, 39,000 in 2.5 days is pretty commendable. I mean, shoot, you do that once a week, there's 150,000 in a month, but you're like, it's working too hard. Right. And I want a life. And, but being in an environment like that and just watching you, how you approach things, just calm, demeanor, consistent, there's this quiet relentlessness underneath this cool, calm, and collected exposure that you emulate, and it's fun to watch. It's been fun to get to know you, man. I've come to really appreciate you, how you lead. But I will say this too, for those of you that are watching, if you say, well, who's someone that I can get involved with that make sure that I'm taken care of, as long as you're willing to put the work in. I want to qualify that. If you're not willing to put the work in, he's the wrong guy. But if you're willing to put the work in, I've not seen many more people lean into a relationship to try to help people win. And here's why I know that. Because this is the first boot camp out of the 9, you said?
Yeah.
9 that you've been to, where you've not been found on the floor sitting by someone else helping coach somebody who's not even on your team, someone from a completely different organization. Because at every other one, up till this one, I would always find you intermittently throughout the day sitting beside another agent, helping coaching them over the line, helping them with a client. Like your heart and your mission says, I want to help people. This one, you knew you had to show up for you. And there was like a whole new level of intensity there where you were eating paper from the sandwich wraps and stuff, which was fun. But I've seen you sitting on the floor, helping people land appointments, helping navigate challenging conversations. It's inside of you. So it's been fun to watch you, man, learn to grow. And what can new agents expect if they work with you?
If you give 100%, I'll probably give 150. I'll probably meet you more. And so it's a relationship, and all my agents know I'm there 24/7. And one of the agents was talking to somebody in his downline and upline, and he's like, Elvir's on the calls Monday through Saturday from 8 to 9 p.m. I'm like, I'm not that much on those calls.
Yeah.
But it feels like it. But it feels like it.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly helping and guiding. I would say my biggest strength is when we had agents out in the field, they would call me. I was like, please call me before you leave the home.
Yeah.
So for me, I've sold policies over the phone like that.
Yes.
So going to telesales really wasn't that much different for me because agents were calling me from the phone, and then I would build the stakes and create empathy and authority and try to sell it over the phone. And then the agent just completes the application from there, right?
Yeah.
So I always ask my agents, please don't hang up, call me. Like text me, hey, I need you in 5 minutes, and I'll try to close it for you.
Yeah.
And we close about 30, 40% deals that way for the agent. Yeah. And then the agent can see what I actually said, and then they can emulate it moving forward.
That's cool. That's cool. Would you recommend people become a member of the Life Insurance Academy and start learning the principled sales process?
Oh, yeah. I'm serious. Like, you don't understand how important it is in this industry to actually have a genuine, good sales process that works, right? How many times have you worked with other IMOs and they just like, here's a script, go get leads, call me if you need anything.
Some of them not even a script.
No, they don't even give you a script.
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah, and we work with IMOs across the country, and we help them. You know, we got an event coming up next week where we're going out of town to host one of these telesales events for another organization, and they're trying to introduce telesales to a lot of their Medicare teams, learning the cross sell. Yeah, and so it's going to be a completely different environment than the one we just did here this week. But the thing that I want to that I want us to close out with, if you're looking for success in the industry, it's not always about the contract and it's not always about the leads, as you heard, but it's about the community that you put yourself in. Community for you, important?
Oh, gosh. So important. I've been in a lot of communities that are bad, and I've been in some that are good, right? And there's always something missing. And so we found a really, really good home. And I'm happy we've put our stake down, and we're growing our roots. This is where we're going to be.
So you're accepting applications?
Yes.
But you're not taking everyone?
We're not taking everyone, yes.
That's awesome. And you have a retirement division?
Yeah, we have
you have a Medicare division?
Yes,
and a life division?
Yes.
Dude, it's like the trifecta.
We're trying. We just need people that are willing to work and genuinely want to, change their lives. I will say this. I will give Life Insurance Academy one more kudos. But what happens is when you're utilizing the sales process and you come into these boot camps, let's say your first day, what's going to happen is you're just going to read the script first time. And then as you're coming to these boot camps, what's going to happen is your script is going to evolve into who you are.
That's right.
And then you're going to realize that the script is like a menu that says, when I need to talk about the stakes, this is how you do it. And then you realize the conversation itself will present when I'm going to talk about the stakes.
Correct.
Right? In the beginning, you're just reading it. You're not listening to the conversation. And then you're getting a lot of, I got to think about it. Over time, the conversation itself is going to give you cues on when to talk about trust and authority, or talk about when to raise the stakes, or talk about their family. You're going to pick up on when it's time. And then you're going to look at the script and it's like, okay, this is how I do it.
Discussing the options or how to present the solution when you close.
The sale is not linear. I wish it was. Hey, if we talk this, not. The conversation, the sales goes all over the place. And you got to manage it, and you get better over time.
And once you have a framework, you know how to manage that.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a structure.
Yeah.
And structured sales process.
And the Life Insurance Academy process really does that for us. It gives us the words.
Let's go,
I love it.
Hey, would you guys like it if we went on the road and invited this guy to be a guest trainer on the Life Insurance Academy so that you could actually come out and maybe learn from him? If that's something you'd like, throw some comments down below. Maybe you could say, I'm in for that. Type in, I'm in for that. Send us a DM. How do they reach you, Elvir?
You can reach me at, should I give my cell phone number?
You can give them whatever you want. Social, cell phone, I don't know who you want.
You can reach me on Facebook, Elvir, Elvir, Bazdarevic, Bazdarevic. Send me a DM, reach out to me, and we'll get back to you and see how we can help. And if you have trouble with the name Elvir, you can just call him Elvis. Yeah. He goes by that too. That's from the previous podcast. You're going to have to go back and listen to that one and find out why that works. Yeah. All right. Thank you, man, for being here. It's always a pleasure, dude. I appreciate it. Love having you. Loved watching you hoist that belt. Hoist that thing one more time, bro. Look, this is freaking awesome. Check this out. Check this out. I'm going to stand up here with you. Look, let's go. Here, is this what they do at the WWE? I need to know this. No, hand. This hand. This it. Okay. Let's go. Look, boom. Let's go. Champion, ultimate telesales champion, 39,846.
2.5 days. He corrected me because I said 3 days. He goes, no, it's not a full 3. It's only 2.5.
Hey, I had some appointments. Tim cut me off.
There you go.
He's like, we're done. I was like, but I have appointments.
There you go. Thanks for being here, man.
Appreciate it.
And thank you guys for watching this episode of the Life Insurance Academy podcast. We will see you on the next one. Have a great day.